Oil and gas. Federal government of Nigeria will continue to set fuel rates according to Malam Mele Kyari. He's the Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. Notwithstanding the company's transformation to a commercial entity, Kyari stated that the process would now be carried out for a fee for the Nigerian government with respect to how things will move forward from here. And the federal government is, of course, set to unveil the NNPC Limited as a commercial entity tomorrow, July the 19th. Joining us to discuss further, Arise Business Analyst Chika Mbonu. Chika, you're very welcome. We have you here for the heavy... I don't know where to begin. Where do you want to begin, Chika?
Let me start with the ASU.
ASU, yes, University strike. Okay,
just remind me, don't make sure I don't lose this.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this because of the fact that the future of the country is at stake.
Yes.
And I'm saying this with also so much respect.
Of course.
I'm going to talk about it. Of course, what we know is the NLC has been threatening for some time now to join ASU in sympathy strike to lastly force the hand of government to do something. Now, what I'm going to say is not, doesn't belittle the efforts that people have made.
Yeah.
But the first thing I want to say is that when you have a hostage crisis, usually, and the police people get there first, usually they tell police not to get engaged because there are special skills required to handle negotiation.
Yes, very true.
And so what we have seen from the government side throughout this ASU debacle has been not the top range.
Yes.
There have been inconsistencies in statements made. There have been very inconsiderate and arrogant statements made by a lot of ministers. And I would think that negotiations could have been handled better. Now, I'm going to make an appeal to our president and CEO of the country. And I'm looking for the right analogy.
Yes.
For this. When, I love aviation.
Of course you do.
Sometimes in the long flight, they have 3 pilots. And look, they take turns to sleep. Now, there's the main chief pilot, and of course the co-pilots. Co-pilots are equal to pilots, but they fly the plane through. Well, the main pilot, when he goes up to go and rest, and there's a major crisis in the plane, in the cockpit, no matter the kind of slumber that he is in, they're going to wake him up.
Yes.
And he comes back and takes control.
Yeah.
Now, that's one. The second one also that I want to put out there is this, that our president, from things we have read, especially from Mr. Deshino and Alhaji Shehu, under their bylines, they say our president has said he's eager to go. And he wants to hand over, And so, look at it this way. In athletics, all these long races where you have to run the track about 10 times or 15 times. Yeah. The first round, second round, the athletes pace it. And then you will notice that when the bell goes for the last round, you watch athletics, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Everybody summons the last ounce of energy.
Pick up the pace,
And pick up the pace. And even towards the finishing tape, some people run and fall down because they know that after falling down and winning, they can take a Lucozade and go home and rest forever.
Yes.
Our president has told us that he's going to go and rest in Douala when he finishes. He's done 7 years. This is the 8th year, last lap. I think the time has come
to pick up the pace.
Pick up the pace. This is not a time to be delegating Ngige and his co and his people to continue to handle this. This is a time to lead from the front on so many key issues in the country and bring this ASU strike to an end. We saw the list he gave the other day about, ASU doing that's not the kind of thing. Get involved. Get someone is ASU Villa, whatever.
Yes.
Let them come and sit down with you and have dinner with you the way you're having dinner during the Salah holidays.
Yes.
And let them talk to them. I have a feeling that the president does that. Lead from the front. This will end. The time has come for this ASU strike to end. And our president must lead from the front to make sure this happens. It's not a time. I mean, in the face and some others, irritates some of these ASU people now. And he saw the last release that they were calling him names as a liar, as this. And that same person want to go and hold the meeting the next day. It doesn't work. So delegation is important.
Yeah.
But, they go and take charge and let things happen. Now, NLC is going to join the strike now on 26 and 27, I think. And you never know how this is going to work. I know our president doesn't like strikes.
Right, of course.
And that. So I push that aside. In the national calamity, our youth are involved. Our future is at stake. Let the president take charge in this last lap. In this and so many other issues. So that he will run the race like the athletes last lap, run tired at the end of the race, take glucose and go home to Daura to go and rest. That's my point in that.
Well said, Chika. Inflation, do you want to look at
the MP? I'm going to combine the whole MPC.
Yes.
Monetary Policy Committee. That's the highest, that's the interest, the body of central bank that meets to determine the key variables in the economy. They meet every 2 months. Now, the meeting for this month is today and tomorrow.
Yes.
Now, whenever they meet, you will find that at the end of the meeting, the CBN governor reads out a press release or a press conference, and a long press conference when it addresses there is so many issues in the current economy, starting from world, and then it says, finally, we have decided that the following: 1, monetary policy rate will be XX, the cash reserve ratio will be XS, and liquidity ratio will be XS. With this asymmetric and so on and so forth. And you're wondering where all this, is leading us. But you see, it devolves from the fact that the main work of central bank is actually monetary policy management, managing money supply. And then if money supply, it impacts so many other things. And then this trajects into the other thing issue you mentioned, which is what? Inflation. So what are the issues confronting our country now and central bank? The major issue is what? Inflation.
Yes.
And most importantly for Nigeria, also what? Foreign exchange. Now, inflation is a worldwide phenomenon now.
Right.
Every central banker in the world is fighting that. You saw what happened in the US, the Federal Reserve, I think they came in at 9% or 9.1%, the highest since 1994. In UK, the kind of inflation they're dealing with now is the highest, I think, since 2000. And so every economy in the world, the European Union, the same thing, everybody battling inflation because of the galaxy of issues the world is facing, principally the Russian-Ukraine war, where a lot of the nexus for a lot of the world supply chains, start and end in that region. Remember, the world was coming out from COVID. One of the issues that happened in COVID was the cannibalization of the supply chains, and then the economy was coming out slowly from that. Then suddenly, this Russian-Ukraine war came in. And so that inflation has come to Nigeria, so it affects us. So what are the issues? Inflation is defined elementary when too much money is pushing too few goods. Too much money is pushing too few goods. Now, so look at it this way. So inflation is a major issue for the central bank. So they tell you that if you want to manage inflation, what do? Other things being equal on the right, that the supply is okay and everything. What do? You bring down, you increase interest rates. Okay? Increase the monetary policy rate. Now, but increasing interest rates, what you're saying is that you want to make the cost of borrowing, because MPC, that monetary policy rate, MPR, is a lead rate in the economy.
Yes.
It's a rate at which the banks in an economy and the central bank take money and give money to each other. Now, once that rate provides direction to the interest rate in the economy, so if it's increased, expected that banks will go back, increase the lending rates in the economy to their customers, which means that borrowing money from bank becomes more expensive. And therefore people will borrow less, and therefore reduce the money in the system. So by CBN moving the monetary policy rate before from 11.5 to 13, the objective was that to reduce money supply. But that works. So you control the money supply. Remember, too much money pushing too few goods. You reduce the money supply, so that money, But the issue is that this inflation is not driven principally by what? Money supply.
Right.
It has to do with supply side.
Right. Structural issues.
That's why there's a problem. So, central bank, would they do anything? I don't think they would do anything to the monetary policy rate. It's too sudden. It took them, I think, 2 years almost plus to move it from 11.5 to 13 because of the issue that the supply side. So if you're in that room, I will not advocate for another increase in the monthly deposit rate.
Yeah.
I would rather look at the fundamental issues in the economy. I speak to Central Bank, I speak to monetary policy committee members. The major issue in our country now is what? Exchange rates. Availability of foreign exchange.
Yeah.
At the time, the Central Bank people were saying, we shall meet all legitimate demands.
Yep.
You walk into any bank, your school fees for your kid, you get it. Your BTA, you get it. Now, I'm sure you're getting mail from banks.
Yep.
Telling you that apply 1 month, 6 weeks in advance,
Right.
1 month in advance, and even at that, you may not get it. And that has caused so much problem in the market and so much confusion. And rates for some other markets, apart from the domestic market, have gone to the roof. And so there's confusion there. So one of the major issues facing Central Bank is they must address this issue of foreign exchange. I don't know. Unfortunately, unlike Naira, which you can print here.
Yeah, they can't print dollars.
You can't print dollars here.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't pity him. I don't want to be in his shoes or their shoes. But the issue for us is that something drastic must be done for foreign exchange. Sadly, brother, is the window for borrowing euro dollars is reduced.
Right.
Because yields are getting higher.
Yeah.
Because interest rates are moving up in like US
Yeah.
and UK, what's happening now is that those economies are becoming very interesting. Papers there are becoming distant. So who wants to take their money from US and bring to here? Right. Nobody. So that's a major problem. And so it's very expensive to go to the market to borrow now. That has been our window where we are borrowing euro dollars like drinking water. But that's the problem now. Yeah. So I guess CBN has to continue with their LT 200 initiative. Diaspora remittances, again, I've spoken about it several times. Do something specific about it, not just sit down in Nigeria and wait for the money to trickle in. We need to do something about that. And then ties into other things that you mentioned, which is the NNPC Limited.
Yes, the commercial entity.
By tomorrow, we're making progress. By tomorrow, what will happen is that the president will go and inaugurate NNPC Limited, which was started from July 1.
Yes.
Remember the Petroleum Industry Act was signed last year, I think August last year, and all the initiatives now towards transforming NNPC to a private company have been in place. That incorporated, started from July 1, now to be commissioned. During the week or last week, we found that part of the act required that the President and the Minister for Finance will sign off all the assets and liabilities of Nigerian National, as we knew before, to NNPC Limited.
Okay.
That has been done. That has been done.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to this new NNPC, a private limited liability company holding the Commonwealth of Nigerians, running as a commercial enterprise, still importing fuel for the federal government, but the subsidy will not be in their books now. It will be in the federal government books. Government carry the cost. They just buy the fuel, sell it at right price to federal government. The federal government wants to do subsidy, they will subsidy. Because the NNPC Limited has to declare what? Profit and dividend to shareholders.
All right, business analyst Chika Mbonu. I really appreciate you breaking down all these issues for us. Thank you so much for joining us.